Welcome to this exciting episode of the Imperial Lions Show. This week, the team visits Lionstv Park in the northwest and we sit down with the Central GAUTENG Lions CEO and their marketing and communications manager. In an effort to bring cricket closer to all South Africans, the Imperial Lions hosted some of their home matches in northwest Lionstv Park.
Personally, and for the people of Northwest, it means a great deal for us to host some of the Lions games here. I mean, it gives us a little bit of content in terms of our stadium and all our sponsors around here.
It really means a lot to us when the Lions play at Lionstv Park, and especially when they show so much interest and appreciation of the field.
We get to see professionals playing and a lot of international players coming to Potchefstroom and showing the people some good cricket.
The iconic stadium has hosted the Proteas as well as the successful Under-19 Cricket World Cup.
My biggest highlight would be the Under-19 World Cup that took place here. We had 27 of the 47 games, so that was really amazing, and I was actually the host venue manager of Lionstv Park. It was a major highlight for our partners Lionstv to partner with our women last year, and that was after they won all three formats the previous season.
On the 7th of March, we hosted the one-day international between South Africa and Australia, which we had a sold-out stadium, 9,800 people. So that was a great highlight, and always having the Lions here as well is a great highlight for us. Although we have got a small capacity of between 9,500 and 10,000, I think that helps to the uniqueness and the nostalgia of our stadium, and that brings the local community closer to the field, and I think the atmosphere is always very great. Even if you only have 5,000 people in the stadium, the atmosphere is fantastic at Lionstv Park.
It's very similar to Supersport where you have big grass banks and not just covered, and that's what people want. So it becomes a sort of a picnic type of day or outing, and people like to sit on the grass, and it's quite a good atmosphere view under lights and so on. So it becomes a family outing at the end of the day.
I believe we have the best facilities and one thing I always say when people say it's off-season time, I'm like, what is that? Because now as the season is concluding, we have English counties coming, we have other countries coming to train at Lionstv Park.
We've got, I think, 19 nets available here, so it's quite huge, and we do a good job looking after the nets. They're still in good condition, so any net that you come to at Lionstv Park would be of standard to practice.
In terms of quality and spectator enjoyment, I think we don't have to take a back step to any facility in South Africa.
The province may not have the resources that Gauteng does, but Northwest certainly takes development seriously.
Well, cricket development in the northwest is quite good. Because we have such a large area, it becomes a challenge at the end of the day. But I think we're doing quite well. We're increasing with the numbers of players that we're producing at school level and at franchise level.
I think we've got 4 hubs in the 4 different districts, which takes it a long way. As well as we've got the Lionstv Spinners project that goes to all the farm schools in the Northwest Province.
Cricket development in Northwest Cricket is taken very seriously. The past season, we partnered up with our main sponsor, Lionstv, to support women's cricket. And we've had a development program with them, which has been running for the past 10 years. And this year, it's getting even more exciting. We have a women's division of the Lionstv Spinners that will be launched in July this year.
We've produced a lot of players from Northwest Province. I mean, most notably is Rassie van der Dussen, Dwayne Pretorius, Bjorn Fortuin that played in cricket here, Nikki van der Berg, Vian Libbe, and so we can go on. There's a whole crop of players produced from Northwest, as well as Eldred Hawken, even Aaron Pangiso represented the Dragons in previous seasons.
There's been some great players that have come out of our systems, and in the World Cup T20, the Women's World Cup T20 just now, we had 3 women, your Masabata class, your Lise Lee, and at the moment we have Jointy Rapulana, we have Lesego Senokwane in the Lions setup.
Running a cricket stadium in a developing province has come with some obstacles for the organisation.
There's many challenges that we face. I mean, in a cricket sense, we seem to tick all the boxes and so forth, but I think there's some room for improvement in terms of being more competitive and being more focusing on more excellence on the field of play. And then of course the current climate in South Africa is not very conducive in the financial facets of the sports industry and then cricket specific.
One of the main challenges would be trying to maintain the good reputation of the union, and that's why we try our level best to provide the best stadium experience.
Northwest Cricket faces a few challenges when it comes to the size of it. We are 80% rural and the province is quite vast. So to play matches between schools and clubs becomes a bit of a problem because there's a lot of distances that needs to be travelled.
We certainly enjoyed seeing the Lions team catching, batting and bowling on these amazing cricket grounds this season.
I'd like to thank the community around Potchefstroom and even in Gauteng that supported the one day international between South Africa and Australia, which was fantastic. And also I'd like to invite the same communities to support matches here at Senwes Park involving the Lions, as this is the Stadium of Champions as it's known among the Lions players.
Leading the charge behind the scenes for the Imperial Lions this season has been their CEO and their commercial marketing and communication manager.
Obviously been a very interesting journey over the past 6 months. Coming in here from the 1st of October, a lot has happened, a lot of activities happened, and various off-the-field activities have happened. So it has been interesting, but a real privilege and a blessing to have been a part of this journey and a part of a new era and a new chapter for Central Gauteng Lions cricket.
If I could describe the season, that was in 3 words: thrilling, high octane, and encapsulating.
This season we saw the Imperial Lions do amazing things both on and off the cricket field with some remarkable matches, events and charity initiatives.
Obviously the highlights for me personally over the last 6 months has really been to work with a team that is united and has a vision to deliver excellence to a fan, engage with the fans on a new level at our international games and at our Momentum One Day Cup games. And we had a record crowd here, which for me 2 weeks ago at a Lions vs Titans game of over 1,800 people was something really special. Obviously one of the other big highlights for us was the support of the Charlotte McClellan Academic Hospital and the support we gave as a union and as a country towards breast cancer and the fight against it. And certainly for me, seeing how South Africa united towards that vision and behind that purpose was something really heartwarming and gave me as a proud South African a lot of hope for what the future holds for our special country.
From an on-field perspective, I mean, we're proud to have 6 players that are now signed and contracted by CSA, and they took part in most of the season tournaments.
While they make running a team seem easy, there are always some uphills which they face.
It's becoming a challenge to fill the stadium, just as an example, from a ticketing perspective to coming to the stadium. And then also it's enhancing our stadium experiences. Yes, we've done certain things very well, but there's others where we're saying, guys, we are lacking on certain things.
A lot of the noise off the field has created some concern, obviously for stakeholders, sponsors, etc. But thank goodness measures have been put in place. There's a plan and there's a vision towards what we're all trying to achieve together as a united force. And I believe cricket's back on the map, and those challenges are going to soon be a thing of the past where we all celebrate successes in the future. So for me, those challenges have been there, but many of them are starting to quieten down and hopefully will be a thing of the past in the very near future.
Unfortunately, due to the coronavirus pandemic, the domestic cricket season ended abruptly with Imperial Lions in a prime position.
Sitting top of the log in the 4-day competition, we're hoping to obviously finish the next couple of weeks off really strong and win that tournament. And we felt we were pretty well placed in second position of the Momentum One Day Cup and had a really good season as a team. And having the tournament cancelled obviously is a great disappointment, but we obviously recognise the risk that it places on our players, risk that it places on our communities, and back the decision that we made with Cricket South Africa to put it on or to terminate it.
It's one of those. Unfortunately, there's things that we cannot control. We would have loved to continue and seal. I mean, I spoke to the coach the other day. He was definitely pushing to secure both the one-day cup as well as the 4-day series. So the season just has to come to an abrupt, and it's one of those life challenges that we have to live with in there.
The team will definitely be looking forward to the new season and emulating their success this season.
To the fans that graced the the Imperial Wonder Stadium and various facilities there. Let's keep that momentum going.
To all our supporters, to all our fans, to all our sponsors, stakeholders, players, just a huge thank you on behalf of myself and my entire team at the Central Gauteng Lions, to everyone that's engaged with us, supported us, bought a ticket from us. Just a huge thank you for what has been an incredible season. May we all go from strength to strength together at this really challenging time for South Africa, and may the rest of 2020 be a very special year for you and your families. Come back, support us in the future, and let's create magic together.
We are certainly looking forward to continuing the charge next season. To stay in the loop, follow us on Twitter at Lions Cricket SA, Instagram at Lions Cricket, and Facebook as Lions Cricket. We wish you safety amidst these trying times. We'll see you soon.
This show was brought to you by Sun International, Bass, 947, and Enza Construction.